Go for it, bro stuff.
Yo, check.
What are we talking about?
Infinity War?
You're off to a good start, too.
What day's the day? October?
7.
I said it earlier. I asked Jason what the date was.
Oh, yeah.
The 27th. I'm like, the 29th? No, the 27th. 28th?
7.
All right, before we start, I'm going to grab one more beer.
Jesus Christ. You've had so much time.
We gotta keep them cold.
Get a cooler.
It's called a refrigerator. You just have to walk to it.
Your refrigerator is like 10 feet away. That's not even that big a deal.
When he sits down, I'm gonna go get a beer just to piss you off.
I'd spin kick every one of you with my fucking boot.
And by the way, it's 15 feet probably.
Well, it's with long ass legs. I figured it wouldn't be that big a deal anyway.
Oh, yeah. No, it takes me like 3 steps.
Tree strider over there.
There's one more thing. It's the longest beer getting ever.
And Tim's like me, where like if he has some left over, he'll take a sip out of his cup, put it back down, and finish filling it up. Like I'll do that shit all the time. And it's the dumbest fucking. It's the old Tim Allen bit where like he talks about like men who vacuum over a paperclip, like it won't suck up. They'll pick it up, look at it, put it back on the ground, and try to vacuum it up some more.
I do that. Welcome back, my B&B Banter Bro brothers and sisters, to another B&B Banter Bro Goes to the Movies. Tonight with me is Jason Chandler and Aaron Banyan.
Calm down. Jason got way too upset. Hey. Jason's all of a sudden excited to do a podcast. I don't know what happened.
Right? Ooh, look at me. I'm on a podcast. Ooh.
Look what I can do.
And I'm your host, Timothy Bennett. Can't forget about myself. And tonight we are going to be talking about Marvel's Avengers Infinity War, Part 1.
Hey, can I say it now, fucker? Hell yeah, we are. This movie's shit.
This was a big deal, like the biggest deal of
for sure,
cinematic history, not just Marvel world, but like ever.
Was it like the first time they publicly announced like all these movies meant something or are leading to something, and this is the movie?
Well, I mean,
so we'll dive into
raised
that.
Expectations.
Yeah, it was a huge fucking deal. Huge.
Well, yeah.
Well, it's a huge movie.
It is. It's a huge movie.
Very true.
It is big. So
one of the biggest ever.
I'm going to do the details today, or tonight. So, Avengers Infinity War came out in 2018. I can't believe it's been that long already. Like, it doesn't feel that long, but it does.
Yeah.
Since we are 2022, so it's been a while. It's been a hot minute.
It's hard to think that it came out the same year as Black Panther.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah. This is PG-13, runs 2 hours and 29 minutes, and it definitely feels like a 2 hour and 29 minutes of a hell of a ride.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, it's not. Yeah, it's nonstop.
Yeah, nonstop. So you'll just have to ignore my son screaming in the background. He's playing Mario with his mother and losing.
Or rejoice at the fact that Tim's son is already playing video games.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how that makes me look. If that's good or bad.
Hey, it's Mario. So.
It is Mario, and they're playing the classic Mario.
It's not like he's playing Grand Theft Auto.
Right.
But he loves the Halo games at arcade, though. He's really good at them. First-person shooter arcade, super good at it.
And there's nothing wrong with killing like aliens from outer space. Don't kill aliens from like another country. But like,
yeah, no.
There's a line to be drawn because kids don't know those things.
Captain Obvious over here.
All right, going back to the details. So, so IMDb's score was 8.4 out of 10. That's bullshit. That's fucking bullshit. Even Metascore gave it 68.
That's comic book nerds bullshit. Getting mad at something they felt that was egregious and just flaming the shit out of the movie.
Right? Oh god. This
is that same thing that we talked about. There's plenty of times where like comic book nerds took it way too far and couldn't separate the fact that this is a movie versus like you can't do everything they do in the comic books.
Source material.
You are right. Yeah. Those are the people too who
hate is gonna hate and take down the percentage.
They were T-Swifting the shit out of this movie.
And we don't have to agree with it. Back to you.
Because we don't. The cast is like every other fucking cast that's in the rest of the movies.
It's the rogues gallery
perfectly
of Marvel
cast.
At this point.
Yep. Yeah, perfectly cast. Robert Downey Jr., Chris Hemsworth, Mark Ruffalo, Chris Evans, Scarlett Johansson, Don
this
Cheadle.
director got to play with other people's toys, like James Gunn's Guardians. Like, he created those characters.
Joss Whedon and everything. Yeah, you got to take Joss Whedon stuff and fuck around with that.
So many writers and directors created these characters, and now,
somebody else gets to play with it all. That's a good way of looking at it. I like that. Benedict Cumberbatch. Yes.
Cumberbatch.
Batch.
I don't like to say batch.
Cumberbach.
Yep.
You don't like to say homecoming either.
Homecoming.
Tom Holland, Chadwick Boseman, Zoe Saldana, Karen Gillan, Tom Hiddleston, Paul Bettany, Elizabeth Olsen, Anthony Mackie, Sebastian Stan, Idris Elba.
We're gonna be at this all day.
Peter Dinklage is the only one that's brand new.
True. Yeah.
Peter Dinklage.
And we got that guy from Captain America, red-faced Nazi. That guy. He
the
comes
Red
back.
Skull, who was in
the Red Skull, who's in the first one.
He comes back.
We were saying Peter Dinklage is the only new character.
Yeah, I know, but
okay, well,
it's been a long time.
Way to shit all over it there, Sunshine.
Well, it's the only new character. I was moving on to a reoccurring character.
So, it's all the original cast. Peter Dinklage is the only one that's new. That's a big actor, and he has a little blip in this. A very important blip, but it's a blip.
Yeah, for sure.
And then this is directed by the Russo brothers, or Russo brothers. Anthony and Joe. And were they the ones that did the Civil War?
I want to say yes.
I feel like it too because Joe Russo, I think, did a cameo. I think
we can definitely see. Give me un momento, por favor.
Yeah, they did. They did the Captain Civil War. Oh, and the Winter Soldier. Damn. They're just owning.
So
the
they're
Marvel
really
films.
heavy on Captain America.
Yeah, they're owning the Captain.
They definitely seem like the best suited for the action ones, because all the Captain America ones are the most action-packed ones.
Yeah,
true.
So they seemed like they were the ones to go to for like an action-packed movie.
And it takes two to play with all these toys.
And they're brothers, so they play nice.
Here's the budget. This is where it gets into this was a big deal.
I bet it's up into the $300 million.
Yeah, so estimated $321 million. That's a shit ton of money.
For the budget?
That could feed world hunger.
Well, if you look at the cast, you need that money.
It's true.
Yeah, and the beauty in the CGI. Or like whatever they did.
Everything. Everything they fucking did.
They stepped it up. Yeah.
Yeah. This is definitely worth every penny that they threw at it. Mm-hmm. Opening weekend, it did not get its money back on opening weekend.
They never
did not.
Do.
Close.
No, the last one did.
Yeah, the last one did. Black Panther.
Okay.
Black Panther made its money back the weekend it opened.
That's the only one. And we've had a few that came real close, but opening weekend.
This opening weekend, domestically, I should say. Let's put it that way domestically. $257 million. So just bordered 258.
Yeah.
So it was close.
It was the biggest opening weekend.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
Well, at this point.
It grossed domestically. 679 million.
Damn.
So it definitely doubled that its budget. Now, worldwide gross. Guess how much?
Prestige worldwide.
1.3.
Yeah,
billion.
it's gotta be the billions.
2.
Oh my goodness.
2 billion. That's crazy. This worldwide gross $2 billion. Fucking ridiculous.
I mean, after Black Panther made 1.3 or 1.4 billion gross worldwide, this making 2 doesn't surprise me.
It doesn't surprise me, and I'm thinking
it's crazy, but
they deserved it.
Unfazed by it.
They earn it, and all these movies have been getting better. Their numbers and income have been ramping up, so it's been an increase.
Yeah,
in the last few great movies. So for them to hit 2, good job. You deserve it.
And this was an expectation that, I don't know, it set itself, like the bar was already getting higher and higher.
Yeah.
This film went to its max level at that point.
Yep.
And the Marvel Cinematic World universe.
Sure.
And I don't think we got anything as good as this until Endgame, but it's like a part 1, part 2. Mm-hmm. Until Spider-Man, No Way Home.
Yeah.
Oh,
because then they just set the bar even higher.
So Tim's jumping ahead, but I see.
Stay tuned until then.
Right.
But this was incredible.
They set expectations high, and they lived up to them. And 4 years later, watching this movie last night, still holds up. Fuck
yeah.
I've seen. This is one I've rewatched quite a bit.
I have not. I've watched it like once or twice. I've started a number of times, and then I got distracted, or I just went on to do something else. So I've started a number of times, but I've only watched it through maybe 3 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember watching this twice in theaters.
Me too.
Yep, I watched it, and then I was like, "Oh man, I want to go see it again." So I went.
Both times I fell asleep at the Peter Dinklage part. Fucking pissed me off.
Wow, that doesn't surprise me. But
another Marvel movie you fell asleep at during the theater.
I know.
God,
well, the seats are too cozy.
You better not fall asleep when we go see Love and Thunder.
Let's just make him stand.
I already got some crack.
Yeah, let's do that. You sit on the floor.
You don't get a seat. You get to stand on the stairs.
Yeah, you'll sit on my lap.
I should get one of those seats where I gotta kneel or something.
We'll just put you in a wheelchair.
3 hours long.
Yeah,
you stand for all 3 hours.
Well, this shit pissed me off because I didn't get to see the Stormbreaker creation until I owned it, and it was like fuck. I guess
you missed a very important part.
The world was destroyed. It had no light to it. I was like, nap time. Twice.
Oh, it's dark. Okay.
Oh. There's nothing important going on.
Jason's
I could check out for a minute.
Jason's like a bird. Like if you just throw a blanket over him, he'll fall asleep.
Yeah, he'll fall asleep.
Yes. It's true.
It's so true. Gentlemen, did you guys like it?
Oh yeah.
Loved it.
Yeah. Yeah, I loved it.
Do you think this I don't even know if it's possible, but would this movie be as great without the origin films and every film leading up to it? How much does that really help?
Like if they were just to start with this film, without anything extra,
just have this as a standalone. Even forget about the universe, because this movie is really fucking good. And I'm just curious.
Yes, actually, I think it would. I think it would be good. I don't think it would have faltered too much. The fact that you have all the other films, and then they, like you said, now somebody gets to play with all the toys. Mm-hmm. It just amps everything up to a higher level.
All there is just internal strife that is added into the movie that gives it more dramatic
meat and potato.
So it raises the stakes
Fleshes
because these emotional levels are higher stakes, and that's the only thing I think the other movies add to it, which is a huge amount, but I think this movie would be great.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's a crusher of a movie on its own.
Yeah.
Yeah, the way that it was written, the action, the story, everything about it says, yeah, it could be on its own. It could have came out without anything else, and it would have been great. Would have it succeeded as much? Probably not.
Yeah,
but they wouldn't have put as much money into it either. Without all the other
wouldn't
crap.
have succeeded because it'd be too much, too big, too fast in people's faces. They'd be like overwhelmed, like, what the fuck is happening right now?
What they're going to want is they're going to want more. So they would have to do Endgame no matter what. Like, there's no way of getting around that. They would have been
duology.
They would have left us and go, what the fuck was that?
Yeah. Right.
I want more.
Which is cool.
I need more. I need my cake, and I need to eat it too. Give me some ice cream and whipped cream and cherry on top. Because that's what Endgame was. It was the giant ice cream, whipped cream, and cherry on top.
Yeah, that like scissor kicks you in the fucking stomach at the end.
Oh, yeah, it was so
right.
Good. It's so good.
So let's. You guys like the opening scene? The darkness.
You mean
of that
so?
shit?
Yeah. So the opening scene, the way they start this film was like with Thor.
Yeah.
And we left off with Thor Ragnarok, understanding that they were floating in a ship when that giant ship goes in front of them.
This
is where it picks up. Oh yeah, that was the cutscene.
That was the cutscene. Yeah,
that was their cutscene.
So we pick up from a cutscene.
Yeah, we pick up right there, After Effects. So like this is what happened after that ship, and it's probably what 20 minutes. 20 minutes after that ship appears, this happens.
In real life, battles happen fast. Fights aren't slow.
In the world of D&D, each round is a minute.
Each round of combat is 6 seconds, I believe.
Yeah, it's pretty quick. I don't remember what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, that shit was I don't know, it was heavy. Like right off the bat, they just didn't. You know how I don't like things to waste time, and they got it, kept rolling with the momentum.
Yeah,
for sure.
And the way to start this off with, it set the tone. So in this film, Thor is the primary leading essence of this entire film.
He's the one that has the most reasons for vengeance, and
Yes.
He's the main protagonist of this movie.
Yeah.
He really is. Because his story affects the overall outcome of everything. So even though there's like 3 different storylines that we're kind of fluctuating through, maybe even more.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
You have Thor,
at least 3
you have
main.
Thor, Iron Man,
Thanos.
I
kind of.
Thanos is a goddamn character. He's not a fucking.
He is.
I kind of lean him into the Guardians of the Galaxy storyline bit because I feel like Gamora and like Quill are kind of not super important, but
not really.
At the same time. I don't know.
Gamora is important to Thanos, which leads into him getting the Soul Stone. That's really all she has to hold. And then Quill is only important to fuck everything up. Like he just fucked everything up.
Failure.
So
I don't think I've hated a hero more than in that moment. Like, you fucking dildo.
Yep.
The only thing I can say that made his character action justified is he's a fucking American from Missouri.
Right.
I'm not from Earth. I'm from Missouri.
That's
That's
emotional.
That's on Earth, dipshit.
That's a great line.
Yeah.
That whole bit was great.
Now,
Yeah.
the introduction of this, I absolutely loved. Yes, right away, Thor just gets fucking pummeled physically and emotionally.
Yeah.
Like right away, his entire ship gets destroyed, taken over. Half of his people, his Asgardian people that he just saved from Asgard being destroyed, die. Yeah. Like that's a big kick in the nuts right there. And then he sees Heimdall, which is like his best friend, die right in front of him. And then his brother Loki dies right in front of him just a minute later.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Like,
yeah. The reasons are very clear.
You get to see the weight that pulls on him in a later scene when he's flying with
the
Rocket
trash
and Groot.
panda.
Yeah, when they're flying to
The rabbit.
Nidavellir. I think that's how you pronounce it.
I don't know. The Dying Star, which
and Rocky goes,
forged
time to
Mjolnir.
be the captain.
Peter
And goes over and tries to have a conversation with him. Like
I love how he starts it. He turns around and he's like, time to be the captain. And then he leans in. I love that. That was a perfect line. It's like, all right, I gotta ask these questions I don't want to ask, but
it's coming from the one we didn't expect it to, because we get that from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Mm-hmm.
He's having a hard time opening up and being vulnerable and trusting these people and this and that. It's just who he is. It's in his nature. And we understood that in Volume 2 when Yondu connecting with him and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it was uncharacteristic for him to have an attachment to a god angel.
They've all been
according to Drax.
In this film, when it comes to the Guardians, it shows they are more of a team than ever. Like, they're connected. They work well together, but they're all a bunch of doofuses.
Yeah, morons.
And morons.
I bid you luck, morons.
And he's feeling so comfortable at this point with his team that he's like, he probably knows he's smart enough to step it up and be the captain and read the room and do the captain shit. So
I don't even know that it was a connection so much as he saw, he just took a moment to open up and try to connect. I don't think he'd connected with Thor yet. He just opened up because he was like,
oh, I wasn't saying it was a connection between those two. I think he was just personally I don't know.
No, I know. I'm just
stakes are on the line. It's time for me to step it up. I'm capable. And it was one of his moments. He tried to do it. Sorry.
Yeah.
But everybody fell in love with Thor right away. Man. Tim's fucking skateboarder guy, Alex.
What?
Okay.
Skateboarder guy?
He was in Northman.
There was no Alex.
Alexander Skarsgård?
Yeah.
You mean Stellar Skateboard?
Thank you.
I didn't piece that together.
He's talking about Stellan Skarsgård, and that he's harkening back to the fact that a joke from a different podcast,
right? Yeah.
And it did not hit.
No.
It's smart.
That skateboard?
But either way.
Stellan Skarsgård was not in Darkman.
No. My point was everybody crushed on Thor like Tim does him.
It's the wrong guy. Anyway, we're not going to moving on. Anyway, this was it was an uncharacteristic change in Rocket to open up. And the only other time that we really get a connection is him and Groot. They're bonded. They're fucking buddies. They're like brothers. And so Rocket just opening up to this said something about the situation, but the heaviness that Thor carries just naturally with him. Mm-hmm. He didn't have to say anything. He didn't. I mean, he did, but it was just
he
a
said
heaviness.
It in this weird,
he says, "Are you
sarcastic tone?
Are you up to this particular murder mission?"
Yeah.
And then Thor gives his, monologue.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "Well, and then, what if you're not up to it?" It's like, well, what else do I have to lose?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he says, "Oh, are you up to it?" It's like, yes. All this and mourning death and this is a great motivation for vengeance.
He says it all ironically. He's like,
He says it with a happy perk.
Yeah,
he says it with a smile on his face.
But
there's also tears going down his eyes at the same time.
Yeah, it was like perfect blend of comedy and emotional shit going on there.
It really shows that in Thor's mind, this is something of a suicide mission.
Yeah,
he doesn't plan on coming back from it. I should say he's okay with the idea that if he loses, he dies. I should say, that's probably the better way to think of it.
He kind of survived death twice.
Yeah, that's a little bit better. He's accepted death. It's kind of their culture, though, is death isn't the end.
Yeah.
But in this case, it's more of I'm gonna fucking die trying. Simple as that. That's it. That's all I'm here. I'm going to either succeed or die trying. That's the mentality. And I mean, it's kind of like a suicide,
Yeah, it's
mission,
not.
but
I guess it wasn't exactly a suicide. I think it was more of a kamikaze thing, where like
Yeah.
death was an outcome that was totally fine.
yep, he was okay. Either or. Yep.
Yeah,
How'd you like him getting in his eye?
Oh,
that was actually a really funny thing.
That was great. Oh, here's an
with
eye.
Thor in this
thank
movie
you.
was a really funny thing.
Did you just
Stop sitting. Oh, I would have
rolls
watched
around.
that out first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to sneak that in my oh, hey.
I won it off some guy, I won it from some guy that I was playing cards with. He gave you his eye. It's like, oh no, I won so many credits. I stole his eye later.
It goes back to his kleptomania fucking thing.
His need to like collect body parts.
Yep.
When he sees Bucky later on in the
Yep.
movie,
I'm gonna
he's
get
like,
that arm.
How much for your
How much
gun?
for the gun? It's not for sale. How much for the arm? I'm gonna
Just
get
walks
that arm.
away. I'm gonna get that arm. So leading into the idea of what Thor's heavyweight is, who else has a bit of a burden on them?
Vision.
What is? Yeah, I was just saying, what is this basically all about?
Yeah. There's a big part of this movie is the idea that Vision, has one of the Infinity Stones in his head, and they're trying to save him, especially Wanda, because Wanda doesn't know how to let go.
No,
I think is the biggest thing. Like, she was an orphan, and then her brother died in the Sokovia shit, and then she became an outlaw essentially.
yeah,
So
yep.
I mean, I think she's got a lot of emotional trauma that like
Oh
necessitates
Yeah.
her not letting go.
She and we see that later on too.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And really, this shit was powerful. But at the time, I was like, okay, I guess the stone's important, and these two, but you never got that history of like their love connection. It was very sparse. It's a
not
setup
hammered.
for a future TV show. That when you watch that and you watch this, it's like, oh, okay, I see what you were doing.
Their romance is not hammered down your throat the way some other.
It's barely
Love
even
connections
touched
are.
on.
It's
I mean, it is for their little section when their characters are introduced. You get
They
it.
have like one
totally get it.
conversation and one look in prior
That's-
movies
That's what you
to
need. That's all
establish
you
their
really
connection.
need. Other
But the
than her
depth-
not willing to kill him.
But the depth of it fucking really came from future TV show.
Yeah, I see
Now
what you're
with
saying.
that knowledge, coming back and watching this, it was way more impactful, way more powerful.
Now
So they just
we
did
also
shit, reverse engineer shit.
what was it? 2 years, right?
yeah, sounds about right.
Is that how
Yeah.
long it's been? They pick it
Yeah, I
up
think it's been
basically
about-
from Winter Soldier, or I mean Civil War.
Oh,
Right?
Yeah, I think it's a couple of years after.
At
So it's been
least
like
two,
at
or,
least 2
two or
years?
three. Yeah.
Yeah, long
They
enough
just-
for Captain America to grow a beard.
Well, that could be like 3 days depending on how fast. So.
Yeah, that's true.
And I love the line that Thor uses. Oh, I see you
Yeah.
copied my beard.
He
New
just shakes
hairstyle?
Get a
his head,
haircut? Oh yeah, I see you copied my beard.
They both look good in beards. What can I say?
Yeah.
True.
Everybody in this goddamn film has a beard.
Times are rough.
Well,
Gotta
I
get
mean,
scruffy.
Not Spider-Man.
I think
He still got the
peach.
peach fuzz.
Yeah. His balls have barely dropped. Come on, leave him alone.
I mean, in Black
His
Widow doesn't
beard
have
in
a
this movie is the new suit.
Yeah. That was a badass suit, though.
It was. Going back to Wanda and Vision for a second, I think the other thing to think about is how you forget how young both of them are. Like Wanda's probably only like 20, maybe. And Vision's,
born 2 years ago.
yeah,
Or
Vision
3 years ago.
Yeah, Vision is still still learning how to be a human. So I mean, their connection is all that much more strong. Especially for Wanda, I think because of the way he reciprocates his feelings.
Oh, yeah, he reciprocates all right. He's a living
Robot
organism
sex
type
talk.
Bob. Like,
Synthezoid.
with no
think this one's
batteries needed. Yes. He's a machine. He's not a real person, and he's a machine. So it's basically just
But
a
they were
walking
implying he might
vibrator.
turn into a real boy. He was in
I'm a
real.
real boy.
He was
I'm
in
a real
human
boy.
form at the beginning of that in the hotel or whatever. So.
oh my god,
But
drop
yeah, and
buttons.
Sorry.
Vision got stabbed. So that dude got fucked up, sucker punched throughout like this whole
The entire
movie.
film.
But the timing, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but they got him in the weak moment when he got stabbed in the back. Was before he was transformed, so he wasn't fully. I don't know.
No, so the weapon that they
used
used,
phasing.
Yeah, the weapon that they used stopped him from phasing, which also damaged him. So the fact that it stopped him from phasing means that he wasn't able to,
control his his he's not able to go through walls and stuff like that, control the matter and stuff like that.
He was far from 100%.
Yeah,
they hit him at the get-go of this movie, and he was suffering all the way through. It was tough to watch.
Yeah, I mean, if he got, if they didn't stab him and he was able to, turn around just before it happened or something like that. It would have been a whole different case. It would have been a whole other different film.
Mm-hmm.
So, but they also caught him at his weak point because that's exactly the time that they were talking about Wanda and them, the relationship. So he was off his game. And I thought it was interesting that he stuttered. He was stuttering. He had a hard time. He's a computer who's acting like a human, who was trying to implement a confused feeling, emotion of love or making it work, and he stammered.
Mm-hmm.
That would not have been a real thing for Vision. So it was like Vision is a complex character, and this really shows
that he was evolving into. He's always evolving. So it's some Pinocchio shit.
Yeah,
so his stammer was through emotions. Sorry.
Well, they say that he's 5 different personalities essentially overlaid. It's the Stone, Tony, Bruce, Jarvis, and Ultron all kind of mashed in together. So he's it's different pieces firing at the same time, and then he's stumbling over things because he doesn't know how to feel.
Yeah,
he's a new organism essentially because he's part organic matter.
Yeah,
at least I believe. So that's why he's a combination of two. He's literally a cyborg.
Because we learned that about he's literally a cyborg. Because we learned about that with the machine, the Korean woman, and
what's her face? Yeah,
Ultron, Age of Ultron. Yeah, she's the one that created that synthetic.
Oh, the doctor.
Yeah, the doctor's synthetic tissue material machine.
Yeah, because of the Hawkeye getting injured stuff, they're like, oh yeah, we can use this to recreate the tissue, and they blend that in vibranium, I believe is what it's a blending of synthetic tissue and vibranium is what he's made out of.
All I know is Vision is a very, very complex character.
Yeah.
And we see his complexity in this film more than just one way. You see a dynamic
complexity
with somebody who doesn't have a lot of screen time or a lot of attention.
Teenagers.
He's just I don't know. He's very complex. We see a lot.
Yeah.
Everything from the Stone, everything from his personality. I mean, everything he has to deal with.
Yeah.
Would you say though
sacrifice?
That if Wanda was to have just taken care of this from the get-go, nothing would have been a problem.
Yeah, but emotions aren't that easy.
I think they proved that there was a flaw in the plan because once Thanos gets the Time Stone, he can pretty much take care of anything.
Yeah, but if she would have done that long ago,
he would have had to have known when.
But being cold-hearted enough to make that decision at the right time is not ever easy to do. It's impossible.
But if you have the Mind Stone at the same time, you can probably get the information of when.
But that is the Mind Stone is Vision. Oh, yeah. Vision has the Mind Stone. So no,
I mean,
the Time Stone only turns back time or forwards time. So if Wanda would have destroyed,
you went and killed Hitler when he was a baby.
If Vision would have been destroyed, if Wanda would have destroyed Vision's Mind Stone, when they were in, I don't know, the Quinjet or something, Thanos would have no idea where or when that would have happened.
I think what they should have done is just destroyed the Time Stone. Because then nothing's a fucking problem.
But look at Doctor Strange.
And then you have policy and rules and regulation on that side of the story that's... They know what the right choice is, but they're supposed
to. What'd you call him?
Huh? I would say it's bureaucratical bullshit, but I said bureaucracy.
It's Hannibal Buress.
B.A. Baracus from the A-Team.
Hannibal Buress.
Yeah, it's all bureaucratical bullshit.
Yeah.
At that point, it's all politics within the.
But I like
world.
this shit because you got emotional stakes. You should be able to make the right choice, but it's too hard to do. So you try to find a loophole, and then you got rules, regulation of the bureaucratic, blah 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 word, and you try to like try to balance that. It's all fucking T-dub. Can't wait to see you on the 12th. Yeah. But
and
it's just not. It's easier said than done. As a human being,
and there's a lot of you even get to see like people repenting for their or repenting and lamenting their decisions, like when Captain America and Black Widow. Scarlet Widow is what I almost said. That's not right at all.
Scarlet Widow. That should be a fucking superhero.
Come on, season 2. What if?
That's a new Spider-Man villain.
Be appropriate,
right? But like when they show up back at the Avengers facility, and Rhodey is arguing with Colonel Ross, and he's like, they wouldn't be outlaws if you hadn't done so and so, and he's like, well, I seem to recall your signature on there. He's like,
yep.
Yeah, and you can tell that Rhodey regrets that. Like he didn't want to do it he just followed.
He looks at his leg and says, "Yeah, I think I paid the price for that," or something like that.
That was actually a really good conversation to have. Like that's like literally you're dealing with the political bullshit.
Yeah,
like to a T. But like it was one of those things that's very important because he's like, you're the only one that keeps calling them criminals.
Yeah,
and right.
Yeah, they're only criminals because of what you call them that.
You're the one that slapped that title on their crew.
Yeah.
So, the overall story, was it more on emotion? What type of element does it hold its position in?
Righteousness.
Explain.
Everybody thinks that their path and their choice is the right choice. Between Doctor Strange, Thanos, everybody is preaching this is the path that we should be taking. And there's conflict and there's opposing sides, and that's there's debate to some degree, like which is all stuff that should be done. But this is all based on I'm right. This is the right thing to do. And Thanos says it best. You have to have the will to do what needs to be done.
Yeah. It's literally like logistics versus the what if game or whatever, like wants. It's needs versus wants.
Yeah. This is the good of the many versus the good of the few.
Yeah. But which character doesn't come off as righteous?
Star-Lord.
I know he has this moment where it's kind of righteous, but
the epic fail. Are we talking Star-Lord?
I was talking shit about Star-Lord for a minute because he fucked everything up.
Yeah, Spider-Man. He was just along for the ride accidentally.
He still had a righteous path.
No, he said it. He looked at Tony at that one point. He's like, "How can you be a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man if there's no neighborhood?"
Yep.
He's like, "I know that sounded weird, but like I know what I meant."
Yeah, fair enough.
Not to mention, he's also on the path of trying to say, "Hey, I'm not a kid no more. Like you just gave me a brand new suit. It's kind of your fault. I got to do what's here. I'm here too. I'm a superhero too. I'm here to save the world too. Yeah. It's not just you. And
it's not just Tony, your fight. It's my fight too. Yeah, like I live on Earth."
Tony has the biggest ego of it all, but he's not entirely wrong.
No.
He's just too pompous about it.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of who's actually
Doctor
not
Strange.
Nope. He's righteous about it too.
He's on
his whole thing is about saving anything, like the whole planet as a whole. Yeah, like he won't let the time stone go.
That's the
not
universe
a
as a whole is what's at stake.
Yeah,
so he'll sacrifice one or two people to save the time stone. And while you may not agree with it, that is a righteous path because he's saving the universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a appropriate. None of this is bad, Like, it's not saying that righteousness is a bad thing.
Yeah.
It's not their egos taking over saying that they're right, they're wrong, or whatever. It's literally a big picture thing. Everybody's here to do something good.
Yeah.
But it's the way that they're doing it.
And I'm not judging them. The stakes are higher than
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
Thanos essentially is right. Like,
yeah.
in his viewpoint.
That's
it's
why
what he does to accomplish it is the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, a lot of the people, like,
What?
everybody's got a viewpoint, and I don't even know who doesn't come off as righteous in this movie.
What about Bruce Banner?
Oh, he's just scared.
Well, the Hulk is
Right.
scared.
He got beat up by Thanos.
Yeah, the Hulk is
Or
scared.
the Hulk did. Yeah. Is that
What
why
about,
we...
what about Thor?
I mean, yeah, it's a straight vengeance mission for Thor.
Yeah.
Thor doesn't
Saving the universe is a side effect.
He really doesn't have a righteous purpose to his mission.
True. Yeah, you kind of forget that when it's hard to remember that when you're, good guy versus the bad guy.
Yeah. He is essentially he's the only one I don't think has the righteous one. Bruce Banner, the Hulk, I would like to say him too, but essentially he is too scared to have a purpose.
But the thing with Bruce is that at the end of the movie, he decides, I don't need the Hulk. Like, I'll do it myself. And he at least steps into a positive...
Well, yeah, he
Tie
overcame
forward
that.
Responsibility of some sort, yeah.
He overcame
Yeah.
the third try of the Hulk
Yeah,
saying
well,
no.
I mean, and he was in danger, and he finally just said, you know what, to hell with it. If you're not going to help me, I'll do it myself.
But
And,
then
I
he
mean,
turned
that's
around.
something of a righteous path, but I mean, it's not as
No,
righteous as the other ones.
Well, but if you turn around and he did say, he's like, man, Hulk, you and me, pal, we got a lot to work out. So he's at least acknowledging a little bit more of himself than he did before. Before it was a burden. Now he's accepted that this isn't just a burden.
The Hulk is
it's-
part of him.
Yeah, it's who he is.
Well,
Well, and you kind of get that towards the end of Ragnarok. Like, he kind of starts to
Yeah.
accept that, like, they're both in the same body. Like, they might as well
that's the
be
beauty of
together.
fucking all these movies leading up to this movie. You see everyone's leveling up.
Yeah.
And they continue to level up through this story about righteousness, peppered with such perfect comedy. And they've come such a long way at these high stakes that they were just throwing the chasm or chaos and just fucking grew from it.
Yeah. And that's where, like you said, or you asked earlier, is like, would this be a standalone film without all those other ones? Is yeah, it would. But the
On
amount
the
of
surface
depth,
level action.
the fleshness that we got from all these characters
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
makes everything so much more intense. It makes it more personable. It makes it more interesting,
It's
intriguing.
the pinnacle of the fucking phrase, flesh out these characters or story or character arcs and shit.
Yep.
Doesn't get much better. They're bigger than this.
And it's just like you said. All the work has been done. Now it's somebody getting to play with with the toys, with somebody else's
Yep.
toys.
For sure.
And that is the smartest thing you've ever said to me since I've known you.
Had to
It
get
is
one
brilliant.
right.
It is truly brilliant.
Probably Kevin Smith's words.
Is it?
Yeah, he says shit like that.
Oh, you're stealing. It's okay.
Right.
It works. It's so appropriate. It's so appropriate. The comedy. Let's talk about the comedy. We talked a little bit
sure.
more about the drama. This is a very dramatic, very intense, and very dramatic.
Yeah.
But what is
Hyper action, hyper drama. Let's talk about the comedy. How does the comedy beats land?
They cut a lot of tension throughout the movie, like in a lot of different spots where like it could almost be too intense a scene, but then like
Right.
you get a comedic beat where I was like, okay, it's lightened up a little bit, like we're not too.
It's
Yeah.
like the Thor, like the Rocket and Thor conversation. Like it was really serious conversation, but the way that Thor delivered that, mourning the death and this is great motivation for vengeance. It was kind of funny to see him like that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, between that and just like you get the interactions of like, you know, when Doctor Strange and Iron Man are having the argument on the ship, and Peter chimes in, he's like, "No, you're a stowaway.
Yeah. That's Tony too. He always does
You're a
that.
stowaway. The adults are talking."
Yeah, the adults. I swear to God, one more pop
Pop culture reference.
Pop cultural
Did you ever see this really old
reference
movie
from
called
you.
Aliens?
Yeah.
Oh, the kid's seen more movies than me.
Like, all I have to say,
Oh, you mean like
fucking-
Footloose? Yes, exactly like Footloose.
Dude,
is this still the
or-
greatest film on the? No, it's always sucked. Oh,
It never was.
or even when on Titan and the Mantis, she's like, "Is Kevin Bacon in the Avengers?" And Thor's like,
Yeah.
"I don't know. I haven't been there in a while. He might be." like they have such quick quips that are peppering the comedy into these fucking deep emotional moments that are just perfectly. That's how I see it.
I probably laughed hardest when Dr. Strange is like, "Who is this kid?" He's like, "Oh, I'm Peter." He's like, "Who are you?" Like, "I'm Dr. Strange." "Oh, we're using our secret names."
Yeah.
"Oh, I'm Spider-Man."
yeah.
That one, and when Chris Pratt and Chris Hemsworth went at it, fucking. Thor
Well,
and
yeah, right
Quill.
away.
Like
In the
but
beginning, when
when
Thor
Quill
is
dropped the
floating through
tone.
space and he lands on the windshield,
Yeah.
and Rocket's like, "Ah!" It's like, "Wipe it off,
Floater.
wipe it off, turn the wipers on."
that entire
Calls him a
sequence
floater.
is so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Oh.
wakes up. That's not.
Gamora's like, "So
boy,
his
that's a
muscles are
man."
like fine fibers or whatever." Stop stroking
touching
his
his
muscles. Just drops it.
Drax is like, "Hey, how long have you been there?" "An hour." "An hour? Seriously?" "I've mastered the art of standing so still, I become unnoticeable." And he like tries to eat a chip. He's like, "Dude, you're eating a dark nut." It's like, "Yeah, but my moves are so slow. They're almost imperceptible."
And Mantis comes in. "Hi, Drax."
"Hi, Drax."
Hell yeah.
Ah, damn it.
Right after what seems like Quill and Gamora's first kiss, or like their physical like.
Not their first,
confirmation
right?
that-
Definitely
Yeah.
their exclamation of love for each other.
At least for
It's
us,
her.
like
For her.
Yeah.
She made the
Okay.
kiss. He did.
Yeah.
She
yeah,
did the kiss
she's
on
in
him.
charge. She wears the pants in that fucking flirtation
Oh, God, yeah.
because
Because-
they have their own weird relationship. But it seemed like they just got to that physical point for the first time,
Yes.
and then it fucking that's important, and then it goes into that long awkward joke.
Yeah.
It's just it's so good.
It was. Even Groot. Groot was fucking hilarious.
Oh, him
Like, right
the
away,
teenager
it's
jokes,
like,
the video
Groot.
game shit.
Groot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa! Don't talk that
Whoa.
language, you foul mouth.
Or
Yeah.
even Rabbit, or they're flying to the
Rocket.
rocket. I don't know.
Rabbit the raccoon. That's not a good name.
Thor,
Rabbit the raccoon.
Rabbit the raccoon, Thor, and Groot. They're flying, and Groot says something, and Thor responds, and he's like, "Yeah." Or
Hey,
Rabbit.
it's like, "You speak Groot?" They offered it at school, and when I, where
was
I
an
grew up, it was an
elective, yeah.
elective.
Just how quick that was, and how it made you smile or giggle and chuckle.
Did
It
you
was
catch
just
the
so
line?
genius.
You
Did
get a
catch
little
the line
sap
where they
on
talk
you. And you get a
about-
ma-
That's
Yeah.
exactly what I was just gonna mention.
yeah, you get a little sap in you, and
Sap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it was great.
It's
Turn that game
kinda
off.
like
It's gonna rot your brain.
I don't know.
I did love when Peter, after the aliens references, like Peter sees Mantis, like, "Oh, please don't lay eggs in my face."
Yeah, that's right.
That was awesome because she was the perfect character to say that too, with her fucking
Yeah,
tentacle
antennas.
face and shit. But
Yep.
the only Thor and his crew, they're not funny at all.
Oh, you're from Earth, huh? No, I'm not from Earth. I'm from Missouri.
Yeah, Missouri's on Earth, dipshit.
Oh yeah, that
Oh, it
whole
was great.
that whole
What master do you serve? What master? Am I supposed to say Jesus?
Oh, you're
even
from Earth.
Drac comes in. I'll do you one better.
Why is
Gamora? It's like, damn, James Gunn, did you fucking write that one?
Well, now here's the thing. Like, the executive producers was it was James Gunn. It was some of the other directors that did some of the other films.
Oh,
So,
word.
yeah,
Oh, good.
It was
Good.
appropriate.
That's awesome.
I
So-
forgot about why is Gamora. I laughed so
Yeah,
hard at that
yeah.
fucking bit. Where's
And it's
Gamora?
just-
What's
it's-
Gamora?
it's so
I've got
on
you
brand
better.
for his
Why is
character.
Gamora?
They're just so confused, and I don't know. It's just, that was a good sequence.
When Iron Man's trying to put the plan together, and he looks over, he's like, "Hey, are you listening?" He's like, "I stopped
Oh,
listening
yeah.
right after you said what we need is a plan."
Yep.
Okay, they're doing their own thing.
Yeah.
And I like what
Or,
even
yeah,
Quill.
like
I like what Quill
taking-
said. It's like, oh yeah, great plan. I love it, but here's what's up. It sucks. Let me come with the plan. That way, it's awesome.
What does he say? Like, don't ask us if like we know what a metaphor is because we don't.
No.
Oh yeah, that's in volume 2, I think. But.
Is it?
Oh,
shit.
no,
He
but
says
no,
everything.
they
there's
said it in
something else
here.
there. Yeah, He's like, don't call us that because we don't know what that means.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
And like this is where it's clear, like they're together like a family, but they are all like the same level of doofusness. The Dragon Mantis, they say fuck are morons, and
they're morons.
We're kicking names and taking asses.
Yep. Yeah.
And just how Tony Stark and Peter just like
kicking
like
names and taking asses.
This is what they just have this moment of silence to both realize. So this is what we got to work with. All right.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's where like you hear Tony go, okay, those two are doing their own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's basically like, I don't know, Elon Musk having to be surrounded by the Three Stooges.
You're right.
It reminds me of Street Fighter when they
build a spaceship.
The Street Fighter movie when they're watching the TV with the
Zangief
full of like explosives.
Turn the channel.
Change the channel. And they just look at him.
Yeah. Yeah, comedy beat. The comedy landed. Every fucking thing landed.
Time.
It's so well timed and so it like I say it cuts tension so that the scene still remains heavy, but like it's not overly heavy.
Like when Thor when they go to the star.
That can't be easy to do.
Like when they go to the dying star, right? Or when they're trying to forge the new hammer, and Peter Dinklage is like, Thor's like, oh, I'm gonna hold. It's like, how long do you need this to open, or whatever? It's like just a couple minutes. It's like, oh, why? I'm gonna hold it open. It's gonna kill you. It's like, I only have to die first.
Well, as long as I don't die.
That's what killing means.
Yeah. Is that not what he like looks around confused? Like, does that not what that means?
Yeah, I was like, but it makes sense at the same time, though. It only kills him if he dies,
right?
So, it worked. But it was funny.
Yeah,
it was great.
Yeah, it was a good line, and it was nice that Peter Dinklage got like a good like joke in there.
Yeah,
hell yeah,
I love that guy. I also like how he's a dwarf, but he's fucking bazillion feet tall.
Right? Yeah.
I like it. I don't know. How did you feel about the new equipment in this film? So there's a couple characters that get new gear. Like one, Iron Man right away. We see him in nanotech.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was pretty cool.
That was
new
to us at least. Oh, very cool.
That was super dope.
Yeah.
Like especially the way he like was able to augment his hands and stuff like that. That was really cool.
Yeah. And then you have Peter Parker.
Yep.
Spider-Man
gets a new
Iron
suit.
Spider suit.
Yep. Mm-hmm. That was pretty cool.
That was hella cool.
Yeah. This is the first time you get those.
The extra, the other four.
And the first time he sees, he's like, "What are these? Oh, sweet!"
Yeah.
Instead of him trying to do the whole like, pull with his arms, he had a lot more backup. He had a lot more arms.
What makes him 8-legged at that point too?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, I like that.
What's next? You're going in order. Can you keep going in order, Tim? On news.
And you have Thor.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah.
Actually, I think before Thor, it would actually be Winter Soldier.
Oh, his new arm? Yeah.
Fair
the new arm looks sick.
Yeah, it does.
And then it's Thor.
Yeah. My only complaint about Stormbreaker is how oversized it seemed.
Yeah.
Like, it just seemed comical in his hands.
Yeah.
Like, the handle, at least. I would have liked the handle to look more natural in his hands.
But it was from Groot's arm.
No, I totally get it at the same time. I aesthetically, I don't.
It's like an oversized telephone in a fucking comedy thing or something.
Right. It looked unnatural the way he wields it.
Like when it goes into Thor's chest, fucking, it's just kind of like
Thanos.
Yeah.
Or Thanos. Yeah.
Should have gone for the head.
Right.
Right.
I agree with you, but it's a small gripe. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a small gripe, but yeah, I thought the handle looked
and
a
it
little
was
too
silly.
comically large.
It's like, God damn it, Thor, you never learn. It's not about the weapon. Your dad told you several times.
Right.
And the whole time he's like, Thanos never fought me twice with my new weapon.
Thanos has never
fought me. Yes, he did. He's never fought me twice.
He's never fought me twice.
That's a real give him hell attitude if I ever heard one.
He's not going to give up. Yeah.
No.
He's not going to be defeated. He's
already
already down
being
at the
ridiculous
bottom.
at the same time. So
he can only go up.
It's the equivalent of Captain America's I could do this all day.
Yeah.
And then is that the next person with new equipment, or do we have more?
So it was Captain America.
Did not like those stupid things.
I didn't like them either, but they
didn't like them.
I didn't like them either aesthetically, but they seem efficient as fuck.
Yeah.
If they would have at one point, if he could have made them connect into a bigger shield, I might have been a little more forgiving of it. But these two dinky fucking things on his hands, just I don't know. I didn't care for it.
Well, first of all,
they were too reminiscent of Wolverine's claws for me.
First of all, they're Wakandan, so it's a Wakandan thing. It's not like him, but it's probably the only shield that they got because he's not going to sit there and fucking fling a cloak just to get this.
Yeah, this is true. Just whipping his cloak back and forth. He's not Doctor Strange.
He'll be doing this all day. He'll be fisting the air.
Dracula.
He'll be fisting the air, punching around, fisting the air, punching around. I liked it. I thought they were cool. I thought they were bad, and it works with him given his fighting style too. Like he's
much more of a brawler. So I mean,
that's why I say much more efficient. But yeah, it didn't look as cool as
I just
coming from the Captain America shield.
Yeah, I would have. For me, even in my mind, I was like, those would be fine if like they connected into like a bigger shield somehow, and that he could like break them apart and fight with them. Like that, I might have like been more okay with. But like the way they just were just two separate things, I was like, this is kind of dumb.
I don't know, but this really. I mean, I know what you're saying, I guess, but
that's superficial appearance bullshit.
That's a me personal thing. Like that's my only gripe.
I think this was great because it really allows him to be.
Especially in that fighting circumstance of overwhelming odds.
Yeah.
All the thralls coming at him.
There's no way that he would be able to have his captain shield in that parade of people. Like, it was just, it was too much. They're too quick.
Yeah.
Too
overwhelming.
He needs to do this.
Not with that was... Shut up. He has more people on his side.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to match your sarcastic thing that you're doing.
I don't think that we get anybody else who has anything special because technically the Hulk, his Hulk busted
that Veronica or whatever. Yeah.
It's not
That's Iron
new.
Man armor.
It's new to him, but it's not new.
What do they call it, Veronica or something like that?
What? Friday? Or no, Friday was
the actual armor. Yeah, they call it something in the last
with
movie
a V.
with it.
It's in the whatever. But and then you get there's no mention of Black Panther's armor being better or anything.
Well, we got that in the Black Panther movie.
It's the same shit he wore in Black Panther.
Yeah. I know. His shit got upgraded in that movie.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of anybody else.
Yeah, either way.
Yeah. No, I think that's about it. The some of the action in this is intense.
All of it.
Even
the small things. Even the small thing with the strange and the don't embarrass me. You're embarrassing me in front of the wizards, kid. Like that fucking. It was small, but it was like
when he's talking to Bruce because he can't Hulk. I was like, you're embarrassing me in front of the wizards.
Yeah.
And when Wong saves him, it's like, Wong, you're invited to my wedding.
Yeah.
It flies away.
But yeah, it ramps up like every fight scene is little paragraphs, and then you get all the way to Wakanda, and it's fucking just wide shots. It's fucking arm.
Sounds like a drink.
I was just gonna say.
It sounds healthy though.
Cognac.
Hell yeah.
Cognac stuff mixed with
Wakanda cognac.
It'll make it yak.
Did you have a particular scene though that you enjoyed? Was there like a fight scene that you thought was fucking great or you enjoyed the most? Because they were all pretty epic. They were all pretty good.
Yeah.
Obviously, the last fight scene was really intense, like the big fight scene. But I really
enjoyed the fighting Thanos on Titan, especially when he pulls the moon like and basically breaks it and like drops it. Especially when Tony at the end goes, "If you drop another moon on me, I'm gonna lose
my shit."
I have to agree, and that's my choice too. But I have to say, like, the third act is a one long ass epic battle scene. Like, I don't know if there's been a fight sequence for this long because they're cutting back and forth between Wakanda and Titan, and at these perfect spots. But like the wars are going parallel. So you could say Titan, but that involves Wakanda as well. And then it leads up to fucking Thor arrival and all this shit. Like, so much happens during these fights, but they're constly fighting the entire time.
That's kind of how storytelling works.
Not when it comes to fight scenes, man. Not when it comes to fight scenes. It's always choppy or cluttery Mortal Kombat-y. When they,
I see what you're saying. Yeah,
it's not choppy.
No, it's not choppy at all because it's it's one thing after another. Yeah, and that's what this movie does. Is just one thing after another.
So it's hard to say Titan, but and not include, but yeah, Titan is my choice too.
He disappears from Titan.
The stakes on that shit was so fucking huge.
Yeah, he disappears from Titan, and then he goes to Earth. So I know what you're saying, but they are two separate battles because you had
happening at the same time.
But you had but
first it's like a defense thing,
which is why I said fighting Thanos on Titan
and not fighting.
Not
my
just,
God.
I didn't just say Titan. I said fighting Thanos on Titan.
Fighting henchmen. What do you call them? You call them something up. The henchmen. Thanos' henchmen.
I think they called them the Maw.
Yeah. But what do you call them? You call them something. You like to call them something other than henchmen.
The cronies?
The cronies. Yeah, instead of fighting Thanos' cronies on Wakanda, you said fighting Thanos in Titan.
Right.
Okay.
I don't know. Jason's just all up on my dick about this. I don't know why.
I was just trying to I thought something was interesting, and you guys obviously don't agree with me, and I'm fine with that.
I don't follow what you're saying is really what my problem is.
Right,
he's just saying it's one long fight scene because they're happening at the same time. So when Thanos leaves Titan, he goes to Wakanda, but it was happening at the same time. So
I was just trying to say I agree with my choices, the battle on Titan with Thanos, but it's bigger than that. It's huge.
I don't think I've ever had somebody so aggressively agree with me.
That's what I do. I keep things new.
No, Aaron, you're fucking right. I know you're right.
I fucking agree with you until the end of time.
This is why you're right.
I'm gonna remind you that I agree with you on your deathbed. I am gonna
strangle you with your rightness. Now I lost what I was gonna fucking say.
What's your fucking favorite battle?
Favorite action scene?
Dick.
Not the Wakanda one. I like the internal battle about Thor. I like Thor.
I think the internal struggle between Banner and Hulk was better.
Fine. I like Thor's battle between opening up the Stargate. Yeah,
dude, he survived.
Don't say Stargate. We're gonna get sued.
He survived 2 deaths. He got blew up by Thanos in the beginning. He fucking killed himself, kamikaze that shit to build the Stormbreaker.
And then he took the full power of a sun, a dying star. And still survived. Yeah, dude, that fucking dude is invincible. Like he's super hard to kill.
Mm-hmm. It's fucking he's also crazy. 1,500 years old.
Yeah, we did learn that. He's a baby. He's in his 20s, maybe 30s now. My fight scene with, I don't know, it's tough. I really, really, really liked the Titan too, like yours. I really did. It was fucking badass.
It's so good.
Yeah. With all of them trying to work together.
There's comedic timing in there with Peter, like Peter's little like quips when he's like catching people and all this other shit and
Yep. No, I have to say it would probably be Titan. What ruins it, and I know it was part of the story and it worked, it was great, but it was the fucking Peter Quill.
Yeah. Oh my God, that was so hard to watch.
Oh yeah, because
even the first time in the theater, I was so mad at that motherfucker, and I think everybody publicly is. But
I was gonna say it's one of those things where like
so hard to watch.
It is. It's so hard because you just know, you motherfucker, you fail. You fuck everything up.
Especially when he says right after, he's like, "Did we just lose?" Yeah, because of you, fuckface.
Because of you.
Yeah. And come on now, more people could have helped with the gauntlet. Just get over there, Drax.
What other people? I think the only
he was holding him down
though. Drax was holding his leg. Mantis was the only person not helping. Even Doctor Strange was.
Strange was doing
Peter
something.
Quill was the only one. Strange had his like.
He's the one that fucked everything up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I have to say that's probably my favorite fight scene. I will say though that the Wakandan fight scene, like watching Captain go like
that was
after
happening
those,
at the same time as Titan.
We're moving on. Those fucking creatures things was intense because they were so quick. There's so many of them, and they're so quick. Like Captain America was out of breath.
Yeah.
Like you could see he was fighting with all his will.
At first, I was like, why is he so breathy? And then I was like, oh, yeah. There's like
a bazillion of them.
Fucking bazillion.
That's how that sort of warfare wins. Is like you just win by the numbers.
Yeah, and that
if you
one
can't
lady,
keep up with the numbers, you can't fight it.
When they finally started breaking through the shield, that one lady was like, they're fucking killing themselves to get this done. Basically, is what she meant. And I was like, God damn.
Oh, well, we have blood to spare.
Yeah, she does say that.
I'm whoa. Yeah,
right.
It's like killing them to get up to the wall kind of thing, and I don't know. It was intense.
It's it's the zombies in World War Z and shit like that.
Yeah. I thought that exact same thing. Yep.
Did you like the lady battle?
I did.
No, that was well choreographed. I thought it was really good.
I did feel a little like
a little forced, like on the ladies. I don't know how. But especially in 2018,
I will say that we didn't need to question that any of these women were by far deadly and badass. Like, that was not
that whole setup to that scene. We're like, oh, you'll die alone. He'll die alone just like you. And you're Scarlet Widow. Black Widow. Like, oh, she's not alone. Really? Right. We had to fucking do this.
Yeah, I agree. It was
I'm
forced.
All for female solidarity.
Yeah, they had nothing to prove.
Yeah, they had nothing to prove, but they did it.
That was a slightly pandering scene, I feel like. Someone said, we have to have something like that shows the women being powerful.
Check the box.
Yeah.
On PC.
But you know what?
Bullshit.
I'll take it, though.
It was a good scene.
The setup was a little rough. The message was whatever, but it played out pretty fucking awesome.
It was just very blatantly pandering at the same time.
Yeah. Absolutely pandering.
But it was still all right.
What about introductions? Character introductions. We got some really cool introductions. You're all looking at me like, what? What? We already know these people.
We only got one new character.
I'm not talking about new character. I'm talking about their introduction into the film. For Captain America.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was
Captain America had one of the
fuck?
greatest introductions. Yeah. He's just a silhouette behind a train. Mm-hmm. And then that fucking chick throws that spear and he just catches it and throws it back.
And throws her off. She's surprised that he caught
her.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a great introduction. Because instantly you know when he's standing there who it was. You had no question on the silhouette. You didn't have to see his face. And then he just walks into the light. You're like, oh, Captain America. And then you have Thor towards the end.
Oh yeah, that entrance at the end when he shows up after he gets over. That was pretty dope.
Yeah, fucking Banner. I think he was like, you guys are fucked now.
Yeah, you got all screwed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is just good directing and good writing. I mean, the writing, the way it's done. Yeah, all the introductions are really well done. Like the introducing Tony the way they do, like his discussion with Pepper about having a kid. Yeah. And then Doctor Strange be like, I need you right now. Mm-hmm. Like, that was really well done.
Crash landing,
Yeah, all that stuff was, like, they played it really nicely.
And they're all just reacting to their fucking terror. They're so terrified of Thanos. Mm-hmm. Anybody that's interacted with this guy and what they hear from the people that have, if they haven't reacted or interacted,
the one introduction
they're terrified instantly.
The one introduction I really enjoyed in the movie is when you see just like Peter's arm when he's riding the bus and you see the hairs on his arm stand up. He's like,
yeah. And you got Ned.
That's another one.
Is Peter tingle?
Yep. Peter can't even finish his sentence.
That's Peter tingle might be something else.
Wasn't that what they call it in one of the movies? They refer to it as Peter tingle.
Yeah, it's Far From Home.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry,
I thought Tim was quitting.
My bad, dog.
Quoting. Yeah.
No, I was just making fun.
No, I was like, I think Tim's serious.
I was just making fun of the fact that he calls it Peter Tingle. And that's something else.
Peter Tinglage.
Penis.
What else did we get?
For introductions?
Yeah.
No, Vision and Wanda's introduction.
That was boring.
Well, you get their relationship introduction. Like, their shit's they're tight now.
Yeah, I don't
They're
think we
in
really
love.
needed to understand that to know that it was a thing. But yeah,
Right.
I mean,
No, you just got it did set up the next scene with them where they're like they're walking to wherever and they're talking about like being able to, get more time by taking a later train, and Vision just says, "What if I just stayed?"
yeah.
Like, so you set up some emotional beats there.
Yeah, they're deep in love at that
Yeah.
point where they're willing to like run away. Everyone's a fucking teenager in this movie. When it comes to their growth,
Except for the old man.
from their origin story.
Oh, but like,
Was it
Bananas.
Bruce that like they reference Spider-Man, and then or they talk about Scott and I forget Hawkeye's real name all of a sudden.
Clint.
Yeah, they talk about Clint and Scott being like off the grid, so they're with their families. Like, who's Scott? Ant-Man. There's an Ant-Man now too.
Yeah, there's an Ant-Man and a Spider-Man. Yes.
was a
Wow,
good
things
line.
have gone off the rail.
Oh, that's right. Because Tony's like, oh, things have really gone off the rails. We haven't seen you in a while. I had a falling out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are the two characters we didn't get to see. I was going to mention that earlier. Is we didn't get to see Paul Rudd as Stephen Lang or Ant-Man, and we
Scott
didn't get
Lang.
to see Scott Lang.
Stephen Lang's an entirely different person.
And then we didn't get to see Clint. We didn't get to see Hawkeye.
Hawkeye.
Yep. So there's like the two that we didn't get to see in this.
Yeah.
And a part of me wonders if it's because there's like, I mean, we understand why later, but like they explained it perfectly well of why they're not there.
Yeah.
But a part of me wonders if it's too many people scheduling. You know what I mean?
I was
Like
gonna say,
actors.
I would assume there's probably scheduling conflict, and keeping track of that many characters is probably
That's a lot.
Yeah.
because I mean, realistically, at this point, you'd have Scott or Paul Rudd in there for a lot of comedic relief, and I don't think they needed it.
They didn't need it. Yep.
And Clint, Black Widow wasn't a really big part of this
Yeah,
movie.
she was
and,
very background.
and so I mean, you don't need Clint nearly as much because those two are really like it's about them in that
When they're on
respect.
screen, yeah.
So a lot of these
Yeah.
characters or crew of characters, groups, they had a lot of to do with the emotional weight of this story and like a big part to play. But if you
Yeah.
added like Scott or Clint, they wouldn't have had.
Yeah, they're just
It might have been
secondary
just
characters that you
Yeah,
have
they're
to
ju-
watch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
They may
So
have
in
just
this-
tilt the boat
Yeah.
a little bit too much. Yeah.
Yeah,
I see what you're saying.
it's
And I-
one
I-
other like person you get to see fade
This-
away in the snap.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. Like
Right.
they already had those people to fill in those spots, so why'd add
Yeah.
just more? Like it's a redundancy at that point, and you're just overlapping.
For sure.
I agree. I can see that. Do we have any other introductions?
Thanos.
Thanos, yeah. How was Thanos' introduction?
I think it was. I mean, I thought
Brutal.
it was cool. Like seeing him at the end of just all that devastation and talking as calmly as he is about everything.
No, he's got his mind made up.
Yeah, he's resolute in
Yeah.
what he's doing. Like he doesn't believe that there's a different
No
way to do it.
remorse.
Yeah,
But his introduction with his assistant giving those speeches, like, you're the children of Thanos.
Yeah.
You should be proud to be part of this, whether you
Yeah.
survive
even
or
in,
not.
even in death, like you're
Yeah.
children of Thanos.
And then saying when the Hulk attacks him in the beginning, dude's like, hey, just calm down, let him have his fun. And then
Yeah.
And then fucking Thanos just kind of
Beats the Christ out of him.
like a boxer. It was kind of cool.
Yeah. It shows you the
Bob and
power
weave, Bob and
of
weave.
Thanos. And that's why,
Yeah.
like,
And
Bruce
the fear.
Banner being the perfect messenger to take to Earth to say,
Yeah.
hey, this guy's, he beat the Hulk. He beat me.
Yeah, this guy's no bullshit. Like we gotta.
Yep.
And he was
the
the
Hulk is
one-
scared.
He was the perfect
Right.
one to make that connection with Tony.
Yep.
Like, because Tony and Banner always took each other's intelligence serious.
Yeah.
Or word.
Yep.
I thought that Thanos was probably one of the most interesting characters just because of how much
Yeah.
emotional depth they gave the villain.
Yeah.
And how he's a goddamn
He's a
like,
character for sure.
he's kind of
Yeah.
he's kind of the main, like, I don't know, everyone kind of plays around him and reacts to him. They're co-stars to this guy.
He's the fulcrum of the movie for sure.
Yeah.
I mean he's
Yep.
he's definitely
That's
the
what I was
antagonist,
gonna
but like
But they use him in a different way than any other antagonist.
Yeah.
The only other time
more
I
of a
get
leading
kinda,
role.
the only comparison that comes off the top of my head is like Glass from the M. Night Shyamalan movies.
Mm-hmm.
Same kind of thing. Like he needed a reason to be like every hero needed to come to shine, so they needed a villain to do that. So he became the villain, so heroes can come to shine. Like they say
he's
that
doing what
in,
needs to be done for the better of the world.
Yeah, so they did. He explains that in Unbreakable, the first film. The other ones kind of are skewed a little differently, but like that's the point that Unbreakable.
Right.
That's it. Really, kind of the only comparison I gave that I could think of. I'm sure there are more, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's not evil in the respect that like he's doing it for power or money or anything like that. He's not even.
He's
It's
chaotic
almost hard
neutral.
to call it. Yeah, I was gonna say it's hard to call him evil at all because he's doing what he's doing because he believes it's the best way to save as many people as he can.
And there's even a few times where people will make deals with him, be like, "Hey, don't kill Tony. I'll give you the stone or some other things." And Thanos keeps his word.
Yeah.
I swear it happens
He
like
has
2
a
or 3
sense of
times.
honor.
So therefore that diminishes the status of that title of evil.
I'm going to read off chaotic neutral, the definition of chaotic neutral, because honestly, this is a perfect definition of what we see for this character. A chaotic neutral character is an individualist who follows their own heart and generally shirks rules and traditions. Right away, we see that. Although chaotic neutral characters promote the ideals of freedom, we see that right there, it is their own freedom that comes first, good and evil comes second to their need to be free.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
it sounds pretty damn close.
I feel like that's the
think the
closest you're going to
writers
get to way that
had that.
Thanos
Yeah,
Posted
I
in
mean,
the writer
holds
room.
himself.
realistically, I mean, he's doing it so that because I mean, he basically will slaughter half of a planet to let the other planet half thrive.
Yeah.
And he even says that to Gamora, like, he's like, I saved you. He's like, you slaughtered half my planet. Like that place is a paradise now.
Yeah,
All the
I did
kids
it for the
go
greater
to bed
good.
with full bellies. Like,
Yeah.
no one suffers.
Yeah.
Like, there's fewer people so that the rest can thrive.
And sometimes when he's making those deals, like, oh yeah, I'll let you survive so I can get what I want, and I'll keep my word. I just feel like his internal monologue is just kind of like, you idiot, you might fucking die when I get what I want. Like 50% of everything's going.
Well, and
Yeah.
something that we don't understand about Thanos, that we don't get an understanding, and this is something that you have to know who he is, or you have to know the comics or whatever, is that he's a genius. He is he is.
Oh,
he is
that whole
truly,
Tony Stark thing.
Huh?
Tony was like, Thanos, you know me? And he was like, yeah, I'm cursed by knowledge too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Is
not
that
the
what-
only one cursed with knowledge.
He
that
is the most. He was a brilliant person. He was the most the smartest person on Titan, which is a highly advanced technological society, way above ours. And he
Not
was
Right.
no, not at all. He was the smartest. Not only that, he is extremely powerful naturally, organically. Like, he's not only intelligent, but he's indestructible. He basically is invulnerable to pain. He's impervious to pain. Like
Well, that's why he can handle the fucking stones, right?
Yeah, it's exactly why. He did. He needs the gauntlet to hold them, but he's the only one that
I think the gauntlet's for channeling the power.
Yes,
It's not,
yes.
Yeah.
It's not. He could hold all of them and be able to be just fine. Yep, he's
Right.
one of the only.
It
few.
lets him wield the
But
power.
it's more of a
properly,
magic
is
wand
really-
or something. Yeah.
He
It's his
is.
Mjolnir.
Applicator.
He
Yeah.
is very, very, very unique. He's also one of the
Yeah.
strongest people in the universe. Like, he's in some of the comics, at least. Like, he's been able to go on one-on-one against the champion and defeat the champion. And the champion in the comics is this galactical force who just goes to planet, challenging the planet's greatest heroes in a battle. And if he wins, he destroys the planet. If he doesn't, he'll move on. But he's been the only one that's been able to go one-on-one. Like, he's
They
hard to
make
kill.
that pretty
Galactus.
clear with everyone's fear of Thanos and his reputation.
And that's
that
what I
word
was
of
getting
mouth.
at. Like, they did an amazing job at showing how powerful he is without actually him having to show his power.
Just through dialogue.
Yes.
And he kind of had...
Intimidation. Basically becomes a cult of personality.
And he had kind of a Mortal Kombat tournament.
Cult of personality.
He fought a lot of people and showed his strength. And, But the problem was they all were terrified and they knew they couldn't win, so they barely got a nick in before they...
And I love when Iron Man hits him, beats him up, whatever, and he gets a little scratch. He's like, all that for a drop of blood.
I just really enjoyed his emotional beats. After he makes the snap, that he's in that little like
he's on DMT with Joe Rogan.
Yeah, and he's like, he sees Gamora as a child. She's like, "Did you do it?" He's like, "Yeah," and she's like, "What did it cost?" He says, "Everything."
Yeah, you see the sorrow. You see
the weight that it carried on him, and you get that earlier. There's a little bit of dialogue between him and Doctor Strange, and they're like, what's the like, what happens after you do this? He's like, then I can finally rest.
Yeah,
like I can stop. Like, and I thought that was a really like hard beat, but like it just seemed like almost a throwaway line.
Now I will say though, he has the power to snap his fingers and everything, do what he wants to do. But he even says, rich or poor, whatever. He says it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's all fair.
Yeah,
except that was for what him. He wanted. Like,
he's the only one, and this is what makes him the villain, is because he's not accountable in the equation. He's calculated this, but he's not really accountable in the equation, because if he snaps the fingers, he's doing the thing.
Everyone besides me, 50%.
Basically.
Boom. Yeah.
Like, there's nothing that says otherwise.
You get some of that even like, again, that throwaway line. He's like, I can finally rest. Because he says, and bask in the appreciation of a grateful universe. Mm-hmm. So he expects to be viewed as a hero after this is done.
Yeah.
Which makes him the villain.
Exactly. Because
that's the bit of ego that's like, it to just really make him the villain.
It's his righteousness.
Yeah. So when he has his Smallville moment at the end, when he walks out of the barn and
when he sits down,
and he just
like
stares at the sun.
He's
like,
got
you don't deserve that. You piece of shit.
What's Tim looking around for?
That's what he's doing. That's what Thanos.
Oh, when he just sort of like looks out at the because it's like there's nothing there, and
he's enjoying the sunset.
We all agree Doctor Strange is he saw all of this coming, right?
Yeah.
Like
he says he viewed 14,605 different
but he
outcomes.
said we only win one, and so far we're halfway through the winning. Like this, everything going bad is part of
it's
what he saw of that one victory, right?
He says when he gives Thanos the stone, he's like, it's the only way.
Yeah,
he says it to him.
They don't. Yeah, but it's only implied. So I was just checking to see if we were on the same page. That this is the one victory. And I forget if they confirm it in Endgame, but we'll talk about that then.
We'll talk about that soon. We got 2 films in this Endgame.
Yeah,
we're almost done with this phase already.
Mm-hmm. Right.
We've basically got 3 weeks.
Phase 4 is a lot of shows.
Yeah, because that was the start of like WandaVision and
WandaVision, Falcon, and Winter Soldier.
And we're almost caught up.
Yeah, it's going by faster than
I know.
I don't know. It's weird.
We were unprepared for how quick we keep thinking it was going to be longer. Now we do have to count Spider-Man though. we do have to figure out where the Spider-Man film comes in.
Well, Far From Home happens after Endgame, so.
Yeah, but there's Spider-Man 2. Oh,
that's Far From Home.
That is Far From Home. That's right. Oh, when does it come out?
What are you talking about?
What?
When did it come out?
Are you talking about into the
when did it
across the multiverse or?
No, Far From Home.
Far From Home takes place after Endgame.
Okay,
it's before WandaVision.
So we'll have to.
I believe that's the first of Phase 4.
Yeah, because you have that bit where Peter just like talks about missing Tony.
We'll have to figure that one out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
off camera.
Off camera. Well, I don't have much else to say. I mean, I do, but like.
We can probably go over lots more of the shit, but I mean, I think we've dove pretty hard into it.
And we might go over a lot of this.
We love this movie.
Yeah, we might go over a lot of this when we talk about Endgame, just because of the connection and stuff. Or
for
whatever,
sure.
It's a setup.
Yep. So, my God, I don't know. The writing, phenomenal. The movie, fantastic.
The emotional elements landed.
Oh my God, everything about this film was fucking fantastic. It feels weird to say, but they had like Schindler's List music at the end of the movie after all the people vanishing. I felt it was very somber and appropriate, and these heroes lost.
By the way, which fade hit you the hardest?
I was just gonna ask that too. I was literally just gonna ask that.
I'm trying to think of first.
What do you have one, Aram?
I have I have a tie, because obviously Peter like falling into Tony's arms and then saying like, I don't want to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then like before he fades and he says, I'm sorry, and then fades away. I thought that was pretty heavy.
Yeah.
But I was also struck at...
It was all improv too, I guess.
I was also struck at Sam disappearing before anyone found him. And then Rhodey coming by going, like calling for him. I was like, I was just like, he's just gone.
Mm-hmm.
I for some reason, that one stuck with me too. So I juggle between those. Obviously, there's more emotional weight behind Peter and Tony. But for some reason, Sam disappearing with no one knowing or seeing it hit me more. Or hit me as well.
Mine was Samuel L. Jackson.
For sure.
No.
Right? That was cool.
That didn't hit me that hard.
I know.
Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, the Peter Parker was the only one that was really intentional. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it really...
Does that performance still hold up? Right.
I think it did. I think it worked. Because it shows you a kid who's scared.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But knowing that it's improv and shit.
That's irrelevant.
Yeah.
I think it's just the fact that it shows you a kid who's scared.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I mean, just like the way he's like, I think the fact that he says, I'm sorry at the end, like he's still worried about failing Tony.
Yep. Because Tony is his only father figure. And we talked about this in the Spider-Man movie is that.
Yeah. No Way Home.
Yeah. It's Tony is his only, he's trying to be a father figure to Peter Parker. And he's being a father figure who didn't have a really good father figure or didn't respect the idea of a father figure. It's not even that he didn't have one. He just didn't respect the father figure. And his dad wasn't always the greatest
always
either.
at odds.
So, it was like their connection is very weird. And
very established in Homecoming.
It is, yeah. And so, like, it was very sincere. Very sincere.
Yeah. I choked up when I first saw it in the theaters. And then most of the other people, I'd be like, all right, we're not getting their sequel. We're not getting a Black Panther movie. We're not getting a Spider-Man movie. It was just kind of like...
Black Panther movie.
No, at the moment when I was seeing them vanish, it was like, all right, we're not getting those movies anytime soon.
My choice of fades, though, would be Rocket when Groot disappears.
That was a good one, too.
That broke my heart.
Yeah. Do you know what other one is really understated and it's hard to really enjoy because of who it is when Quill actually starts to fade away and he just goes, oh man. And he just kind of like fades off.
Or even Drax. Yeah. When Drax goes, Quill.
Because he's just confused. Yeah, and he just sort of fades out. Yeah.
And he goes to the fucking Peter Quill, the one person he makes fun of the most and like doesn't he doesn't respect, you know. And he goes to him going like
he was
like, buddy,
looking to him for help.
Yeah. And
he respects Quill at this point because Quill's like, all right, you guys can listen to Tony's plan now. And then he walks up and listens. But the dust part. What? I know I'm right. Fuck you. The dust part really works because everyone's so confused. They don't know what's happening.
And there's no music.
Exactly.
And that overall...
It's the lack of sound. There's no bird, there's no nature noises. It's literally just them and the wind.
Yeah.
The sound of vanishing, which is the sound of silence.
And the way that they like flake into like, I don't know, crumbly leaves was so interesting of a choice. It's not dust.
Yeah.
It wasn't like just dust in the wind kind of thing. It was just like it was like they crumble into leaves, like a tree loses its limbs. Like I just it was so poetic. It was beautiful. It was so dark. It was haunting. It was everything.
It was like ash from like a firework, like the snakes.
Yeah.
Almost like that.
Oh shit!
It was just, I don't know.
It was
It was
really
haunting.
way to do it.
It was beautifully haunting.
Side note, I know we talked about the fact that Chadwick Boseman was sick during the filming of Black Panther. Did he look skinnier in this movie?
I didn't see him without a shirt, so I couldn't say.
And
No,
even
his
even
face.
clothed, his face looks like skinnier. Like you could tell
I
he
did.
was sick.
I
in
had
this
a
movie.
thought. I was like, did they have to retailer the suit? Because he seems thinner.
Yeah, I think
That was a side thought. I just happened to notice it because I remembered us talking about him being sick during Black Panther at least.
Well,
So
man, it's a good film.
for sure.
How many blips do you give this?
Oh, I thought we were gonna go with Infinity Stones.
No, because
That's not
there's
fair.
6
There's
of them.
6, and I can only give it 5, and you can only give it 4.5. So
I will
I'm
give
going
it 5
5.
blips. I'll tell you that.
mhm.
This
Yeah,
is
I
by
mean, I
far
can't-
the
I will-
greatest
hate
film
on
they've
it.
made.
some minor aesthetic things that I quibbled about, but I mean I can't complain about this movie in general. It's a 5.
Yeah, it's not
movie hit all
perfect
the
by any
notes.
means, but it's one of the best films they've ever made.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Marvel's ever made. That's why I said the money, it showed
Well spent.
everything.
Yeah.
It was
Well
fantastic.
spent and well deserved.
Oh God,
compromise.
yes. God. I mean, it made history.
Yeah.
Made fucking history. So,
All right.
yeah. Well, that has been Marvel's Infinity War, and stay tuned, and we will talk about what's coming up next. What is it? Ant-Man.
and Wasp.
Yeah.
Ant-Man
Ant-
and Wasp.
Ant-Man and Wasp.
Whoopsie-doo. Yeah, we'll see how
And
this
then
one
we
goes.
get what's after that? Captain Marvel.
Yeah, Captain Marvel's after that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Big
I'm more
evil
excited for
shit.
Captain Marvel than I am Ant-Man and Wasp.
I've never watched Captain Marvel, so
I think you'll be
we'll see.
surprised. Ant-Man and Wasp is going to be better than the first one. I'll give it that much.
I will say that too. Yep, it is. It will.
That's what I'm hoping I remember. But all right.
I will
Peace
find
out,
out.
you bitches. I'm mad
All
at
right.
you. I aggressively say goodbye.
This is us balancing the universe out. And goodbye.
Perfectly balanced.
Hurt feelings make me laugh.